sea, somewhere waiting for me. My lover stands on golden sands and watches the ships that go sailing somewhere beyond the sea. She's there watching for me. If I could fly like birds on high, then straight to her arms I'd go sailing.
The word Galapagos, think of gallop, is a saddle you put on a horse to gallop. So the first Spaniards, when they saw these horses, they saw walking saddles, walking Galapagos. And that's what they say, the islands of the walking saddles, the island of the Galapagos.
Lead me there soon.
For myself and every student who I've heard summarize their experience, the phrase, "it was a life-changing experience," has come out of everyone's mouth.
And never again.
I have been very excited to be part of TnCIS because when I was in undergrad, I studied abroad the summer between my junior and senior year, and it changed my life. It gives me enormous satisfaction and pleasure to be able to help other students have their own life-changing experiences. TnCIS stands for the Tennessee Consortium for International Studies, and it was founded in 2006. And it is a true consortium. It has 19 different member colleges and universities, and it's because we all believe at the state level and in Tennessee that having an international component to your education is critical. And so we come together with the mission of sending as many students abroad as possible. TnCIS has a number of different locations across the globe. We have every year about 70 different courses that we offer in about 20 different locations, and some of those programs travel to more than one country. So you have about 24 different countries that you can choose from. In a TnCIS program, you could visit the Great Wall in China, you can visit Rio de Janeiro, you can visit the Parthenon in Greece. The world is truly your oyster. I always tell students that if there's a place that you're passionate about, if there's something that you've always wanted to see, probably have a program in or near there, and you should go there, even if the course we're offering doesn't specifically fit your major goal. If I'm an engineering major, but I have always wanted to see the Eiffel Tower, then maybe I'll take a course that fulfills an elective or a general education requirement in France.
I'm studying biology too here, but after a couple days I realized I was studying life on a really, really special island rather than studying the history of the Appalachia or Appalachian plants and animals and whatnot. I love nature and animals, and there couldn't be any better place for this, and I feel like I'm studying a completely new biology. I mean, you can't replicate this kind of education at all.
It's amazing to see all the diversity of life here. It's an experience you can't get anywhere else. I understand why the Galapagos is chosen for this type of program, because it truly is a living laboratory. And it's easy to see all of the different evolutionary changes that could be observable here. And you can see it for yourself, and that's amazing, because there's one thing to read it in the textbook, it's a whole other thing to see it with your own eyes.
The things that I have seen here are remarkable examples of adaptations and illustrate a number of different principles of ecology and evolution.
It is just amazing how much wildlife there is here, how much biology there is to learn.
Just being in the environment that we're learning about in the classes has a big impact on what I'm learning, because I'm a very visual person.
It's a really great opportunity to get to use your environment to learn. I feel like it's a lot more kinesthetic and you apply it to what you know, so you retain it longer. Even though it's a very accelerated course, you apply the knowledge to real life.
The lecture is much like a traditional lecture with PowerPoint slides and me talking. The labs, however, are very different. And this was my inspiration, in fact, for trying to teach the course in a study abroad program, where back home We look at different taxonomic groups in the animal kingdom. We look at preserved specimens. We do dissections in the lab. And here, there is no lab per se, no lab facility in which to do a dissection. Instead, the landscape is our laboratory. And instead of cutting up a preserved specimen, we can go out and watch real live animals and observe their characteristics, observe their behavior in their natural habitat. And in Galapagos, of course, a lot of the animals, a lot of the plants are going to be found nowhere else in the world. So it's an amazing opportunity to have a real live laboratory experience.
The way Simon did the labs was great because it was very hands-on. We would go out on walks and take the classroom to the environment so we could relate what we learned in class and physically look at the plants and look at the animals and their habitat and the way they grow. It helped me to learn by being so hands-on.
There's a lot that you have to read, there's a lot that you have to do, but it's worth it, it's enjoyable, and I think doing a biology course in the Galapagos just makes perfect sense because we were able to read the information, and then in the afternoons when we go out for lab, we see living examples of what we've just read.
I bring the lab with me. I bring micropipettes, gel electrophoresis apparatus. I bring different kits, forensic DNA analysis, DNA extraction, so on and so forth. So the students actually do about 95% of what we do in the lab as compared to in class in POCP, and they do get 100% of the concepts.
I love that we can actually spend enough time in class to get our questions answered. In a classroom setting like at PLCB or any school, you go in, you hear the lecture, and then you leave. But here where we have so much time, we can really get all of our questions answered.
It is a class, and you've got to make sure that that's your priority for a lot of things, but you need to make sure to enjoy the experience as well. And don't forget where you are. You're in a whole other country, and you need to go out and explore it.
So keep to your studies, but make your experience all it can be because it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
Studying abroad is a way not just to get course credit and international experience and exposure, but it's also a great way to make friends.
I feel like I've made lifelong friends through this program, people that I would have possibly never connected with, even though they were in my hometown, some of them.
It's such a great experience to be with a big group of people.
It's incredible the bonds you can make with other people in such a short amount of time, because we really do, not just academically, but almost socially as well, condense an entire semester into a couple of weeks. So you bond quickly and you bond deeply.
When you teach at school, you don't get to live with the students. When you teach here, you get to know your students. So
I feel like it attracts a really certain type of person.
In the study abroad program, I seem to have the most motivated students. It's like the best student from each of my classes back in the United States has come to study here in Galapagos.
I would definitely recommend a study abroad program. This has really changed the outlook I take on life.
Here in the Galapagos, things are so much different than in the United States. The people are different, and they have like different ways that they think. In the United States, you don't let your children who are 5 or 6 walk home from school by themselves, but here it's just normal.
It's like Dr. Ascari says, it's beautiful if you can see it.
people here have been so friendly towards us. The Ecuadorians, at least the ones that I have encountered in Galapagos, they are very kind, calm, collected people. They are very hardworking people.
It's so hard to put into words how amazing this trip has been overall. Just everything that we saw here, it's amazing. And I'm definitely going to continue to study abroad.
We saw amazing things that we would never see anywhere else, and I would never get that opportunity to do again.
TnCIS staff was amazing. They really helped me to make sure that I got all my paperwork sorted out, and very nice, and it was like they were just excited over the fact that I was going as much as I was.
The scholarships are amazing. I thought my 50% was great, and then I heard about other kids from other schools across Tennessee with, you know, full rides or 85%, 75, what have you.
I will say I'm very jealous of students who get to study abroad now because I had to do it without any scholarships, and now most institutions offer scholarships. Mississippi State offers a scholarship that'll cover about half of the program cost if you meet the requirements, and it's not a competitive scholarship, so if you meet those requirements and you apply before the deadline, then you can get that scholarship.
Anyone that has a chance, you have to take the opportunity.
Picture yourself in 10 years and, you know, where do you think you'll be in 10 years and what do you think might give you the most benefit?
With being able to travel and broadening your horizon, you always take something back with you.
I know we'll meet beyond the shore. We'll kiss just as before.